What is up, my peoples? Welcome to Studio Day Heffrey on the day before the NFL draft. It's exciting time, and as you can see from my face and my head, there is no time for showers the day before the draft. I got to do the draft show on DallasCowboys.com here in a minute, and then we'll go do radio after that. But I did want to get through your mailbag. You know, I'm here for I'm a man of the people. That's me. So I want to get through your mailbag and give you the very latest on what we know and don't know about this NFL draft. And I will start with Noah Thompson, who said, hey, Jeff, how about this trade option? And this trade option makes sense because we do have a rumorooski. He says New England receives the Cowboys' number 10 overall pick and number 138, and Dallas receives number 15 and Patriots corner Stephon Gilmore. He says, who says no? I feel like because at that point you could open up the defense and take edge, linebacker, corner at 15 instead of feeling the need to take corner. It is an interesting trade scenario, and I had seen a rumorooski that New England was sniffing around, talking to somebody in the top 10 about trying to get up, and it would not surprise me at all if that team were the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the problem with the Stephon Gilmore trade rumorooski. Stephon Gilmore is a 30-year-old corner who's still a solid player, maybe better than solid. But when he gets to his new team, whoever trades for him, he's going to want a new contract. So in that scenario, are you going to give a 4-year contract extension to a 30-year-old corner? My gut tells me the answer for the Cowboys is no. The reason it's tempting is because it's likely that Stephon Gilmore is a better NFL player next year than any rookie corner. Rookie corners don't generally have a smooth transition where they just walk in and dominate the NFL. That's just not the way it goes. So it's tempting. But because I think Stephon Gilmore, if he gets traded, is going to want a brand new contract, I do not believe the Cowboys will be in that market. If they go down, my guess is that they would be going down and acquiring picks and not a player. But if they do it, it is a win-now move. If you did it and you either gave him a contract or you just told him, no, just play, man, and he actually did, then that's a win-now move to, get a rental player at a position of need. So it's not a crazy rumorooski. And again, New England has been talking to somebody in the top 10 about moving up, but I will say that this rumorooski will not happen. Cavanaugh says, do you think Jamar Johnson's tackling problems are fixable? Jamar Johnson is a safety at Indiana, and he's a real-life free safety. I think a lot of people will remember him for intercepting Justin Fields, but Jamar Johnson, he's a really good coverage guy. He's a good free safety. Instinctually getting to where the ball is going to be and making plays on the ball, Jamar Johnson has that. He's the worst tackler I've seen in this year's draft. Just in terms of the effort, the technique, sometimes he just kind of misses by 4 yards. He's the worst tackler I've seen. So that's really a coaching question, but I think that most bad tacklers are generally going to be bad tacklers. But there's a point where you take a shot on a player like that because the coverage part of it is so important. And if he's a fit for your team, to me, Jamar Johnson is a name to know in the 3rd round for a potential free safety prospect. Josh Fox, thanks for answering my question. I absolutely love you and listen to the draft show all the time. One more question. Knowing what we know now about our team, would you rather have Jalen Ramsey or Ezekiel Elliott? Oh, come on now. I would rather have a corner than a running back. If they're both really, really good, and they're both really, really good, I would easily rather have a corner than a running back. So, Jalen Ramsey. Ellis, question pre-draft. If both linebackers are on the board, would you pick Jamin Davis or Nick Bolton, and why? That is a great question, and I hate it. Jamin Davis is the Kentucky linebacker that now there's a lot of scuttlebutt that he may be a first-round player. When I discovered him, I was like, man, there's a really nice 2nd or 3rd round linebacker people aren't really talking about. Then he did his athletic testing, and it was through the roof, and now the world is going nuts about him. So this is the sort of thing that is a debate in NFL draft rooms. Nick Bolton, I love his tape. Love it. He is a middle linebacker. Line him up, let him line up your defense, let him go. Love him as a player and on tape. Then you factor in the size and the athleticism, and Jamin Davis is far and above Nick Bolton in that regard. I have to be true to my draft rankings. I would take Nick Bolton over Jamin Davis. I'd take the floor over the ceiling. But they're both really good players. If you get to the 44th overall pick and those guys are available, I think they're both incredibly viable to be a pick for the Cowboys. Michael, Jeff, you ever been wrong about a player you didn't like at all? Like showed nothing on tape that showed you they would be a good NFL player but ended up being a star? Colton Miller's a good NFL tackle now. It took him 3 years to get there. But he's turned into a really good player. But I'll selfishly say I wasn't wrong because his first year or two in the NFL, he's one of the worst tackles in the league, so I was right. But the Raiders gambled on the athleticism of an offensive tackle, and eventually it paid off. That's Sam Cosmi in this draft, the University of Texas left tackle. He's an okay player on tape, but he's an incredible athlete that he's not technically sound. And so let's see where Sam Cosmi goes. I would bet probably the second roundabout. Guys that showed me nothing on tape, and they ended up being really good. Gosh, I bet in the comments somebody can leave name, because I'm sure it's happened. I'm an idiot just like everybody else. We're all idiots that try our best. Jose says, what's up, Jeff? I appreciate the content. I like the fact you build your board based on film rather than the media. In the past few years, would you say you've been right more often than not about the guys you fall in love with? Yeah, more often than not. Like everybody else, there's hits and misses in there. But yeah, like because a lot of the guys that I loved are little guys that are really good football players, right? Desmond King, Buda Baker, Antoine Winfield, a lot of the smaller guys. It's hard. I need to keep a running ledger of times Jeff was an idiot. Times Jeff was really smart. Need to get that ledger going. Blake, question for tomorrow. What is the most important bit of inside info you've heard but you haven't shared? I share it. I'm an info sharing mofo. I broke the rumorooski that the Eagles are looking at getting up to 8 or 9 and have had conversations with Denver about getting to 9 to probably steal a corner from the Cowboys. The name I heard was Patrick Surtain. And then I accidentally verified that with a second source. I don't break news because I don't try to, but sometimes I accidentally find things out, and that's one of the things that I found out. Brandon, just give me one of Marvin Wilson, Peyton Turner, and Ardarius Washington. I'm going to give you all 3 of them. Those are guys I really love. Ardarius Washington's the safety at TCU. He's my tiny guy of the year. Peyton Turner's a giant defensive end at Houston that I really like. And Marvin Wilson is the defensive tackle at Florida State that I really like. In theory, I could get you all 3 of these guys. You take Peyton Turner at 44, and if the league is as low as so many analysts are on Marvin Wilson, you take him at 75. And then Ardarius Washington is a 5'7" 3/4 safety, so you take him at 99. I got all of them. It's possible, and I would love it. Oh, Grayson's going to try to get people to tune out here. He said, Jeff, I'd love it if you'd talk about the Mavs' struggles with losing to bad teams and your analysis of the season. 105.3 The Fan from 2 to 7. A lot of Mavericks content. And at some point, this channel may turn into all the sports. But they whooped Golden State last night, and that was glorious. It was glorious. The Mavs just aren't that good. They have Luka and a bunch of dudes. When you're depending on role players to be good night in and night out, it's just hard for those sort of guys to be consistent. They need to add more talent to the team. Travis, are you hearing rumors of any players getting consistently mocked to the other NFC East teams? If so, who are they? Who do you not want to see on the Eagles, Giants, or Washington football team? Washington would love if somebody like Christian Darrisaw, the Virginia Tech left tackle, made it to 19. They would love that because they still haven't replaced Trent Williams. The Giants, I have heard, are interested in a couple of different things. Pass catchers, pass rushers. So 11 might be early on the pass rushers, especially considering now we're seeing rumorooskies about Azeez Ojulari might be getting flagged for a knee medically, and he's my top edge. Jalen Phillips obviously has his medical history, my other top edge. So the Giants may be picking a receiver there, and then the Eagles, I think, are looking really hard at pass catchers and pass defenders. Wide receivers and corners is what I've heard that those two are looking at. Daniel Winterbottom, what a great name. Hey, Jeff, who has a bigger red flag in terms of their health, Jalen Phillips or Caleb Farley? They're both big. I don't want to go anywhere near either one of them at 10, and I'm super interested at 44. Jalen Phillips has a history with the concussions and a really bad wrist injury. Caleb Farley, obviously, double back vasectomy or whatever the back stuff is called. And Daniel's in Australia. Look at us. International. Nathan, Jeff, where can I tune in to your content on draft day? Will you be on 105.3 or with Cowboys.com? Thursday, round 1, tomorrow. I'll be on 105.3 The Fan. It'll be myself, Brian Broaddus, and the great Sean Sharif. Friday, Saturday, we'll all be together on 105.3, the Odyssey app, DallasCowboys.com. So it'll be all of us. Felipe from French Brittany, France. He talks about Sean Lee a little bit, who's amazing. He's going to follow Sean Lee wherever he coaches. 2 draft questions. Say Cowboys trade down a few picks. I wish they'd pick JOK. Why? Because you won't have to play nickel anymore on early downs, and you can tear up a part of the D playbook. Your thoughts? Yeah, he's a really good trade down option to me. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker, safety hybrid. You can either just play him at safety, play him at linebacker, or play him in matchups. Be careful, though. This happened with Isaiah Simmons, and they put way too much on his plate, and it didn't work out. So you got to have a role defined and ready for him. What's your favorite meal and beverage watching the draft? Take care and be safe. Well, because I'm always covering the draft and I'm always on air, anything that someone will bring me, I get hungry, you know? Ideally, I like my water. I like to stay hydrated, you know? I like to water it up. Any form of chicken. I like any form of chicken. That's good. I don't know. Any snack that somebody will bring me is my draft food because I'm on air for 8, 16, I don't know, like 24 hours those 3 days. All right, that is it. Make sure you're checking 1053thefan.com every day. Draft is tomorrow on The Fan starting at 6 o'clock. Don't miss it. 2 to 7 weekdays, 1053 The Fan, G-Bag Nation. DallasCowboys.com. You can find me all over the place. And leave in the comments on YouTube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh what you want to hear about tomorrow. Probably the NFL draft, which will be tomorrow, huh? Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody, and I love you. Bye.